Hello, everybody. Welcome to our showcase on Cardfight Vanguard today. Hi, I'm Terence, and I'll be your host today for this particular stage segment. Without further ado, let's get ready. Our volunteers seem to be very enthusiastic, very eager to go. Okay. Before that, just a quick introduction on what Cardfight Vanguard is. Cardfight Vanguard is a card game where players battle alongside their avatar, called the Vanguard, hence Cardfight Vanguard. The aim of the game is to deal 6 damage to your opponent before they can do the same to you. Right, your opponent gets 6 damage, you win, very simple. You may choose between the Dragon Empire trial deck or the Keter Sanctuary trial deck to begin with. Now, before we start the game, let's just have a brief explanation of the playing field. If we can cut to the field, the stage. Right. Okay, just a quick run through. Main deck, right deck, and Vanguard circle. Let's see. First one. Right, main deck, right deck, and the Vanguard circle. Right. So the main type of cards, we have a quick look at the cards. Maybe we can just review as I go along. We have the unit cards. Okay, so these are the cards that you will call onto the stage or your field. They have a number on the top left corner of the card, which represents the grade. Oh, a bit reflective, huh? Yeah, that's the grade. Okay, more powerful cards and abilities are unlocked as you ride to a higher grade, up to grade 3 in this particular demo. Okay, now let's try to do a bit of preparation. Set the grade 0 card from your right deck onto the Vanguard face down. Yes. So we will then play rock, paper, scissors to decide who goes first and who goes second. Go. Okay, so right, let's prepare to start the game. Draw 5 cards to form the first hand. That's drawing from the main deck. Now, I'm going to explain that there is a mulligan at the start of the game. In a regular game, you can choose up to 5 cards from your first draw of 5, put the chosen number of cards on the bottom of your main deck, then draw the same number of cards from the top of the deck, and then finally shuffle your deck. That's the process for a mulligan. But for this particular demo, they won't be doing it. Right, if our players are ready, first thing we must do in every start of every game, we must... Yes, that is right. We must declare stand up. Both players or all players present, please say stand up Vanguard. Okay? What? 3, 2, 1.
Stand up, Vanguard.
And then flip the Vanguard card up. Okay? Just to explain the positions, right now they are all in vertical position, which is the stand position. And then if they are in the horizontal position, that means the card is in rest. Could you turn it sideways? This is called rest position. Okay? And when you rotate it, it goes back to stand position. This is called stand. Okay. Okay? Then next, we have the draw phase, which is where the turn player draws a card. Okay, next, we go to the right phase. This is the phase where your Vanguard can be powered up to a higher grade by stacking a card that is 1 grade higher than your Vanguard on it. Right? So if you choose to ride from your right deck, you can discard a card from your hand to do so. Let's demonstrate. Okay, player 1, could you kindly discard, let's see, Anki Bola to ride from your right deck. So 1 grade higher, yes. Now, normally we have an energy system. Let's show the players that there is an energy system, but for the purpose of this demo session, we'll be skipping this. For details, you can proceed to our tutorial section, all the way to the back near the food section, where they can teach you the game in full. Okay? Now, here comes the main phase. This is the phase where you place cards from your hand that are the same grade or less than your Vanguard's grade onto your rearguard circles. This is called call. Huh? So rearguard circles are the 5 circles surrounding your Vanguard. Right? Thank you. Placing a unique card onto the circle is known as call. Now, the first player, of course, has no battle phase. So the player 1 will turn end. Okay. Now, this is the game, of course, so it passes on to player 2. Your turn starts. And we do the stand, but again, there's no rest unit, so we'll skip that for now. Player 2 will discard Lisana to right from, all right, you have drawn already, right? Okay. Stand, draw right, then player 2 discard Lisana to right from your right deck. Okay, we go on to player 2, main phase, no action. So again, battle phase, this is the phase that you can declare attack on your opponent's units. Okay, moving on to the attack step. You choose one of your units in stand, that means it can still attack. You choose one of your opponent's units and rest your chosen unit. So from stand to rest. And then you declare the attack on your opponent's unit. Player 2 attacks your player 1's Vanguard with their Vanguard, since that's about the only cards on the field at the moment. Now, power comparison. When you attack your opponent's unit, if the power of your attacking unit is the same or greater than your opponent's unit, the attack will be successful. Right, player 1, choose not to guard. Okay, yeah. So here's the trigger step and trigger unit explanation. When your Vanguard attacks, you can perform drive checks. Put the top card of your deck face up into the trigger zone. That's right on top of it, to show your opponent what card it is. Now, if it's a trigger unit, which is a unit card with a yellow bottom, okay, right, this is a yellow bottom card. It means that it is a trigger unit. Okay, you can resolve the trigger effect, and we will get to it more when we get to a trigger unit later. Okay, right, so the card that's shown, right, no trigger, which we will go on to the damage step. When a Vanguard is being attacked and the attack is successful, you will perform a damage check, which was just demonstrated, putting the top card of your deck onto the trigger zone. And of course, it has to be face up because you have to show your opponent. If it's a trigger unit, which is a unit with a yellow bottom, as explained earlier, you can resolve the trigger effect. And this time, no trigger effect, so we'll explain it later. Okay? Now, since there's no other available units to attack, we will end this turn. So player 2, turn end, and player 1 starts his turn all over again. So again, stand, draw, right face, where in this case, we will discard Kuden Musubi to right from right deck. Now it's player 1's main phase after the right phase. We will call Yugna to the back row center rearguard circle. This is important because this is what we're going to do a boost later, okay? Right. So front row rearguards can attack, rearguards can support. Unit cards that are grade 0 or 1 have this icon that says boost. A bit hard to read. For details, please go to the tutorial section later, teaching session where they will teach you the details. And you can actually see the cards up front. Now, this means that you can call this unit to the rearguard circles in the back row. You can rest it together with another unit in the front row of the same column to add the power to the front row unit when declaring your attack. So we'll head on to the battle phase and the attack step. Player 1, attack player 2's Vanguard with your boosted Vanguard. Okay, player 2 choose not to guard. And it's the trigger step. Yes, it's a yellow card. You know what this means? Trigger. Okay, the 6-pointed star icon on the top right-hand corner of the card represents a critical trigger icon. Can see? Okay. This means you can add 1 critical to one of your units to deal 1 more damage when the attack hits. And on top of that, add 10,000 power to one of your units. Okay, damage step, no trigger, right? And that ends player 1's turn. We go to player 2 again, the turn start, you know the drill, stand, draw, right face. Player 2 will then discard Tolerance Wizard to write from the right deck. Okay, now we go to the main phase. We call Tolerance Wizard to the right rearguard circle. And we call Sia to back row center rearguard circle. This one is to boost the Vanguard. Okay, let's head on to the battle phase. Attack step, player 2 attack player 1 Vanguard with your rearguard. Rearguard. Okay, the guard step, player will guard with Spinal Assaulter. Okay, when you're being attacked, you can choose cards from your hand to call to the Guardian Circle. The number on the left side of the card, the one that is kind of sideways. Okay, represents the shield value, and this shield value of the unit of the Guardian Circle will be added to the power of your unit being attacked when you are guarding. Now, this is the end of battle. Cards on Guardian Circle will go to the drop zone. Thank you. And then the attack step, go back to attack step already. Player 2 to attack player 1 Vanguard with your boosted Vanguard. So rest both cards. This is the attack. Next is the guard step, which you will guard with critical trigger. Okay. Trigger step, let's check what damage it is. What the trigger it is. It's a heal trigger. Now, the green icon on the top right corner of the card represents a heal trigger icon. This means that other than the 10,000 power that you can add to one of your units, if you have the same or greater damage than your opponent, in this case it's 2 to 1, is greater, you can put 1 card from your damage zone into your drop zone. Okay, put back first. This is called a heal. Okay. Right, damage step. Let's see what damage you will get. Okay, no trigger. So right now, I'll resolve every card. There's no available actions left. All cards are at rest. So we will end this turn and move on to the next turn. So player 1 will go through stand, draw, and ride. So discard the Kides Dragon in order to ride from your right deck. Okay, this is the main phase. And from this step, we see that there is now a grade 3 unit on the Vanguard circle. Okay, it has abilities shown in the text. Auto refers to abilities that will activate as long as the condition is fulfilled. Act, ACT, refers to abilities that you can choose to activate during the main phase by paying the cost. However, we will not be using these abilities during the fight. Okay, moving on. Okay, let's call Kides Dragon to the front left rearguard circle. And then call Kageichi to the front right rearguard circle. Okay, this is getting interesting. Battle phase. Attack step, player 1 to attack player 2's Vanguard with their boosted Vanguard. So we straight away go for the Vanguard attack. No guard? No guard. Yep. Wait, before we explain, we're going to the trigger step, which means that we're going to have to explain Twin Drive. It's an ability that grade 3s have. It shows a different icon, as you can see here. This means that when you're performing drive checks, that you can actually check 2 cards instead of the usual 1. Okay. Let's go ahead. Drive check. 1. Draw trigger. So the pink icon on the top right corner of the card represents a draw trigger icon. This means you can draw a card and add 10,000 power to one of your units. Okay, next, the trigger. Can see, huh? Okay, front trigger. The magenta icon on the top right corner of the card represents a front trigger icon. And this means you can add 10,000 power to all of your units in the front row. Okay, next will be the damage step. Draw trigger, right. Okay, next. Who do? Okay. Next, right, draw trigger. Draw, okay, so draw. Okay, a special card was drawn this turn. So Sentinels, they have a special ability as well. Look at its shield value, it says 0. A bit hard to see maybe, huh? You can check out the cards at the tutorial area later. The design around it is gold and very different from normal cards. The ability for this Sentinel allows you to guard against any attack regardless of power by discarding a card from your hand. Okay, so put it back into the hand because this card was drawn. Okay, that's all for explanation for me actually. We'll let the players finish up the game. Yeah, and you can see how the game is played out all the way to 6 damage. Take note, it's actually very important to sound out to your opponent what actions you are taking so that both of you understand each other. Yes, to get your opponent to 6 damage. Okay. You get 6 damage, you lose. The game is a bit fast as we are not actually using the abilities since it's a demo session. Right now it's even 3 to 3 damage. Guarding with a Sentinel. So one card was dropped from hand in order to use his ability. That means no matter what comes out, the attack will not go through. Always remember the stand and draw. Heal trigger, heal trigger. Stand and draw again. The match is quite even. It's still 4-4. All right, that we have 6 damage. That means player 1? 1. Yeah, player 1 has won. A round of applause. Thank you for joining us for this Vanguard demo. I hope to see you again for the next Vice Shots demo coming up shortly after. Thank you.